I'm a medieval man. I'm a medieval man. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Why do you keep touching me? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Why do you keep touching me? What do you want? What do you want? Why do you keep touching me? In the age of chaos, in the age of chaos, in the age of chaos, two factions battle for dominance. In the age of chaos, in the age of chaos, in the age of chaos, two factions battle for dominance. Welcome to the world of Warcraft.
I did the thing.
You did the thing, and look, we have other Fang. Hi.
You finally plugged your hands back in, I see.
Kind of.
How's the sound check?
Oh, I'm supposed to do the sound check.
Yes, you are. You have responsibilities.
Okay. Yes, I can hear you, and I
Yes.
can hear me, and then there's nothing to hear.
No, there isn't anything to hear. Well, I can toggle that on. That's fine. How's that?
I can hear that. Yep, I can hear it.
Nice and loud.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's get the screen out, shall I? Pop this down. There we are. I'll turn the music down for me, actually. A little loud.
Okay.
Okay. Turn the projector on just a moment. I gotta lean over here and do that. Oh yeah. Okay. Hello. Well, that's rude.
Hey. Oh,
Are you seriously still watching?
we are
We are.
excitedly.
Plus,
Excitedly, not
Yeah.
just serious. I mean, we're serious about it too, but
Hmm.
how rude.
So I wanted to start a little different this evening. This isn't really related to cataclysm. It's more just something that's come up recently in World of Warcraft. But it pertains to sort of the overarching story of the Titans and the origin of Azeroth and everything else. It's about a tree. The first, in fact.
Oh, one of those trees.
Yeah. So there's a book that showed up in The Emerald Dream. I thought it might be interesting to read. I've got the full text of it across the next 2 slides here. And then I'm going to add some extra context to it. So let's have a look.
Good grief.
God damn it. Alright. Long before the first dragons drew breath, Azeroth was conquered by writhing horrors that plummeted from the skies and infested our world. The Old Gods. How long the reign of the Black Empire lasted we cannot say. Surely it must have been a time of unimaginable suffering, but at long last there came hope.
Me. Oh.
Brave Titan Agramar discovered Azeroth, shining like a beacon in the great dark. As he gazed upon the beauty and power of its slumbering soul, he realized it was imperiled. He told the other members of the Pantheon how the world they sought had been corrupted by the old gods. The Titans gathered to eradicate this dark influence. Seeking to bring hope and healing, our patron Titan, ELUNE, carried a gift given to her by ELUNE.
So we don't even know what that is.
A branch of Ganir, the Mother World Tree. So that is it, the branch there, apparently, given to the druid in the class order hall. The Titan believed that the influence of life would drive the darkness away. So she reached down her hand and shaped the soil of Azeroth, planting the branch where it could be fed by river and sky. The branch swiftly grew into a tree, and its roots extended deep, deep below the surface. Anna smiled, for everywhere the roots stretched, new life emerged. She called the tree ELUNE here, in honor of her great love.
ELUNE here. Really?
Yeah, right. When Amantul saw what Iana had done, he chided her. "This is not order," he bellowed. "You have infected this world with uncontrolled chaos." Interesting. The High Father took hold of the World Tree's trunk and tore it from the earth. Anar whipped bitter tears that rained down upon the resulting crater. And this is a picture of Ungoro Crater, one of the most lively places on Azeroth, and most likely the location of ELUNE here, with Fireplume Ridge being most likely where its roots were. And this is that exact place now. If you go there, you see it's completely overgrown and full of life. It's also one of the locations that the Titan Watcher Freya would keep an eye on. And Freya being, of course, Eonar's personal Titan Watcher. But as she peered down upon the sundered earth, the Titan realized a truth she did not share with the High Father. Though he had destroyed the tree, its winding roots still held firm beneath the soil, hidden from Aman'Thul's gaze. As the forces of the Titans waged war against the Black Empire, Anar bid her keeper Freya to watch over the crater and nurture its life that blossomed there. Below ground, the roots fed upon the tears of Anar grew strong. The war was long, but in the end the Titans claimed victory, and Anar was pleased knowing ELUNE's legacy would endure. It is said that much later, as the world entered a new age, mysterious guardians arrived who dedicated their lives to protecting the roots. But that's a tale for another time. So that's interesting. So he pulled a tree out of Azeroth, much like he pulled out Y'Shaarj, who I've said in the past looks a bit like a tree.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's get a little further into this, shall we? So this is Fireplume Ridge. This is, allegedly where the tree was pulled out of. It's a volcano. It's leaking. Well, it doesn't really look like lava, does it?
It's not bright enough. It looks like blood.
It looks like blood. That's weird. It's also not like a volcano in the sense that there's no lava, in fact. And there's no caldera. There's no crater at the top. There's just a cavern full of spiders. Weird, huh?
Uh-huh.
But there are fire elementals.
Yep, I
So that's
see
different.
those.
So the following is an excerpt from a quest in Mists of Pandaria. The speaker in this quest is Wrathion. You don't know who that is yet, don't worry. We'll meet him very shortly, in fact. He's about to be born.
Oh.
Yeah. At the dawn of the world, when the mortal races were young, they did not yet possess the secrets of fire. They shivered in the cold and the rain, until in one instant, lightning tore the sky. It rent a tree asunder and set it aflame. The mortals gathered around the fire in awe and wonder. They could cook their food and warm their homes. They seized it and protected it. They fed the fire every hour of every day. Hot coals were carried from one primitive camp to the next. Do you see? In a single flash of light, civilization was born. Truly, lightning is the gift of the gods. Amanthul wields lightning. He has a staff called Oradur, which looks like a lightning bolt, light on one end and dark on the other. He set that tree ablaze. No doubt. So all that's very interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Some food for thought. I don't really have a context or an explanation for what any of it means. Just something my brain's been chewing on lately that I thought I'd bring up and let you chew on as well. Jerky for the mind.
I'm also eating gummy bears.
Very good. Also very chewy.
Uh-huh.
Alright. Shall we continue?
Mm-hmm.
Where we left off.
There it goes.
World of Warcraft, Cataclysm, 28 years after the Dark Portal opens. So anyway, Deathwing absorbs great elemental power within Deepholm, destabilizing the elemental realms. The elementals lash out across Azeroth, causing mass destruction and chaos. So, we start the expansion with a bunch of elemental invasions, much like they did in Classic, but a little bit more ramped up. Different regions around the... Hello.
Deva.
Different regions around Azeroth were having elementals pop up. There'd be a little storm, and then the elementals would show up and start wreaking havoc. Thrall makes Grosh Hellscream the War Chief of the Horde, and gives him his father's axe Gorehal. Thrall then leaves to Nagrand in Outland to commune with the elements and become more of a shaman. As, you know, he's getting old, he wants to retire. Here's some young blood that can lead the Horde in a more effective manner. Thrall meets with the Earthen Ring, which is a shaman group, to discuss the problems with Azeroth. He also meets his wife, Greya? Something like that. He finds love. Good for him.
Is that her there?
Yeah, she's a
That's
Magha.
brown,
She is.
not gray.
Yeah. No, Greyha.
I know.
I think that's her name. I might be wrong. One moment. Agra. My bad. Agra is her name.
You were close.
Magni Bronzebeard attempts a ritual to discover what is the cause of the unrest. He delves deep into the old Ironforge beneath the current Ironforge, and is turned into crystal. Moira,
Crystal door?
he is crystal and he is immobile. He's just made of crystal.
No.
Moira, his daughter, marches on Ironforge. She was previously married to the Dark Iron Dwarf and had a baby with him. So she's been away for quite some time, and now she's come back and she's proclaiming herself queen by birthright and claiming the throne. That didn't go over well. Civil war breaks out. Moira prevents anyone from entering or leaving the city, including Anduin Rin, who is visiting. Seeing this as an act of war, King Varian Rin marches on the city with the entire Stormwind fleet. Anduin convinces his father to show mercy and, you know, calm his tits. Varian forces the dwarves to work together, forming the Council of Three Hammers. So it's Moira and two other representative dwarves. I think it's Wildhammer and someone else. Not Magni, Moradin. Moradin comes back. We found him in Northrend. The Alliance and Horde go to war. Grosh believes the Horde had become soft and was allowing the Alliance to call too many shots. So it sparked a war, and the war would be fought for many more expansions. We'll be covering that for quite some time. We'll call this the Fourth War. We'll say it started here. It's very territorial, it's a pissing contest. It's lukewarm at best. Like, there's no invasions of major capital cities, but they're fighting at the border skirmishes. Cairn Bloodhoof was enraged by Garrosh's aggression and challenged him to Mak'ra for the position of War Chief. Garrosh accepted. The Megatha Grim Totem was a warlock of the Tauren race. Poisoned Garrosh's axe without him knowing, and when they dueled, a single blow, a shallow cut, killed Karen Bloodhoof, leaving Bane an orphan and the leader of the Bloodhoof tribe.
How did just a single cut do that? Also,
Poison.
hi, dragon. Oh, poison.
Yeah. So, Megatha poisoned his axe without Garrosh knowing. He does just a very shallow cut across Karen's chest, I believe, and he staggers back and just collapses and dies. Now, Bane is a orphan. He's also the leader of the Bloodhoof tribe. He's a very young boy. He's not much older than Anduin. He doesn't have any experience with leadership, and most of the Tauren think he's pretty soft. Karen was actually a really good leader and would have been a good war chief. But unfortunately, he died. And now I believe we have a cutscene. Or two. Or maybe three.
Dragon.
My hatred burns through the cavernous deeps.
They were permanently attaching the armor to that poor thing.
Holding them together.
Heaves with my torment.
He has energy pouring out of his chest, and they're holding his body together with it.
My rage.
See it pouring out of him?
I see.
That is Deathwing.
But at last, the whole of Azeroth will break.
He lit the sky on fire.
Oh, he fucked everything up.
Beneath the shadow of my wings.
And gave him a metal jaw.
Yep. I'll explain why in a moment. So, Deathwing, who very narrowly escaped the destruction of Draenor back in Warcraft 2, was all fucked up. And he went into hiding in the elemental plane of Deepholm, the rock elemental area, licking his wounds, maybe literally. Twilight Hammer cult pounded Elementium plates into him to reinforce his body and hold that molten energy within, literally keeping him alive. Now he tears his way out, very nearly destroying Azeroth in the process, of course breaking the world pillar that held all the elemental planes together and held Azeroth's elemental energies stable. And as he cut a swath across Azeroth, it destroyed a lot and rendered the terrain very different than what it was in Classic. This is, of course, the excuse for the world revamp that came with Cataclysm that changed all the different realms and continents and everything. A lot happens, so we'll cover it briefly but thoroughly. So we have one more cutscene here. The remastered Classic Edition trailer that just came out.
Neltharion, it is time to end this.
Azeroth shall burn. Everyone succumbs in the end. Deathwing has sundered this world so that its true lords may return. You dare trespass into my domain? Die! This is my...
Guess who's back?
Deathwing, the Destroyer, the end of all things.
The end of my WoW subscription, that's for sure. And one more trailer, I think. I included this one because it shows some of the changes that were made to the world. Did it pause? It did. What did it pause?
Who knows?
Resume. Go.
Play.
There we go.
There.
As the terrible war against the Lich King continues, the proud defenders of Azeroth fight to secure a lasting peace. But there can be no peace when the world itself is devoured by rage. An ancient evil has risen, determined to shake Azeroth to its foundations. And the world will never be the same. As the elements battle for supremacy, Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms have been transformed.
Permanently.
Ancient lands have been torn asunder, unleashing widespread destruction.
Yep. Still looks like that. Gonna look like that forever.
Newfound life has also awakened.
Ooh.
I mean, Silith is slightly less shit. Or not Silith, that's Silith.
New conflicts erupt as old
Well, that one
enemies
changed
vie for
big time.
control of the world's diminished resources. At the heart of the ocean, the maelstrom churns endlessly. Many islanders of the Great Sea have been driven from their homes, seeking sanctuary
ends.
from the relentless upheaval.
Yeah, Kazan blew up. We'll get there.
These scattered refugees find themselves shipwrecked upon the Lost Isles, locked in battle against an unfamiliar enemy. But in their hour of greatest need, the goblins of Kazan have found new allies in the Horde. As destruction engulfs the far corners of the world, the Greymane Wall, the fortified entrance to the human kingdom of Gilneas, has been shattered. Yet, those who were once human have become something more.
Lupgaru.
As the vile Forsaken march south into Gilneas, an ancient ally resurfaces, to bring the savage Worgen into the Alliance. As the
This is
world
doing all my work for me.
teeters on the brink, and the mortal struggle for dominance turns to one of mere survival, the world's champions have adapted to new paths of glory.
Yeah.
Standing
paladins.
vigilant against those who would devour civilization. And venturing boldly into the unearthed,
was an angry
forgotten
turtle.
bastions of antiquity.
One of the old wild gods. I was thinking about including a slide about them, but they're just not that relevant. Yeah, forever change. Assholes.
Not 85 anymore.
No. And they abandoned that skill. That was pretty cool. They abandoned that too.
The world has been broken.
Half the
A
Titans
new
never actually came out.
age has begun. The Alliance and Horde can only cling to hope. Deathwing has returned.
You can go away again. It's okay. Nobody wants the Deathwing.
We're
He
gonna
looks
farm him
cool.
because we want the mount. It's very difficult to farm as a single player.
Okay,
Alright.
but
Hmm?
he still can go away. Yeah, dragon halitosis is a bad thing. Go brush your teeth, dragon.
Deathwing swiftly descends on Stormwind City, burning parts of it to the ground and severely damaging other parts. Before the Alliance forces were able to rally and respond, Deathwing was gone. They were still making those payments to the Defias Brotherhood, too, so I'm sure that really pissed them off. Now they gotta fix it again. It's only been, what did I say, like 14 years or something?
Something like
30,
that.
something like 30-something years, I don't remember. It would take far too long to catalog all the individual changes, and you'd really have nothing to compare it to because you haven't actually seen the classic world. Just assume that every single zone has been radically changed, and it's almost nothing like it used to be. The Barrens, for
Okay.
example, was cut into 2 zones because it was too large. There's a big rift of lava you see here. Other things like the Western Plague Land started to regrow. There's druids there that are trying to heal the land. Desolus has some greenery as well. Honestly, it was one of the worst decisions they could have made. The vanilla game basically became completely inaccessible. Forever. Until the classic mode came out, which is an entirely different game. I mean, you have to log into a different client to get to it. It was necessary, however, in order for them to enable flying in the classic world. Oh yes, Thousand Needles is completely flooded. It used to be a big desert. It was sort of like Utah. Now it's underwater. Yeah, they needed to change all the terrain in order to make it accessible for flying. Previously, a lot of things didn't even have, like, a roof. You flew up, you would just see broken terrain. However, they decided not to update Kel'Thalas or Azimuth Missiles, the Draenei and Blood Elf areas, because they're lazy. And they still haven't. Who knows why? You know, small indie company, by the way.
Yep.
This also came at a very tumultuous time for MMORPGs. Many new games are coming out. Many old ones were going free to play, and Cataclysm just sort of alienated their own player base. So, it is what it is. It was not a very popular expansion. They were re-releasing it as a classic server, which overwrites Wrath of the Lich King on classic, and I really wonder who asked for that. Because if you wanted to play this content right now, you still can. But, sure. Maybe they'll finally implement the Path of the Titans that they promised us in that trailer that never came to fruition. Instead, we got a broken glyph system that they've abandoned. Much like all of their other seasonal systems, yeah. Anyway,
You're
the
not
Blood Gate...
salty.
So,
Not salty.
a lot of things happen that they don't even necessarily tell you happen. This is something that happened that they described many expansions later as happening now, so I'll stick it here so you know. The Blood Gate in Zuldazar is destroyed, prompting King Rastakhan to ban the usage of blood magic. So previously there was a wall protecting Zuldazar from the marshes there where the blood trolls were. That gate is broken, and they are flooding in. So he has banned the practice of blood magic and made it basically illegal in his kingdom. We'll get back to that in many more expansions. Sylvanas, on orders from the new war chief Garrosh, begins to assault the Greymane walls, separating Silverpine Forest from the secluded Gilneans, who have been walled up since the Second War. Garrosh does not think very highly of the Forsaken, especially after their antics at the Wrathgate. He still thinks that she had a part to play in that, because she did, and he calls her a not very nice word that they've cut from the game, but it used to be there.
Does it start with a C?
No, he called her a bitch.
Oh,
So, shut your mouth, bitch.
how dare him!
Now he just says, shut your mouth. And then they cut right there.
Same impact.
And then he raises this question. So, the Kate has become heavily damaged by the Cataclysm, leaving the Gilneans vulnerable, and Sylvanas had plans to bolster her numbers with the corpses there. So she has those Valkyr that she got from the jailer, and she can use those to raise new undead. So she's going to kill the Gilneans and raise them as undead to bolster her numbers and add more numbers to the Forsaken. You know, because they have attrition. They fought in some wars now. They fought the Lich King. They fought, in the Burning Crusade. Well, they need more. And he asks this question, what difference is there between you and the Lich King now? She didn't like that. Small problem with the plan to kill all the Gilneans, by the way. They're Worgen. So
Can they not be
Arugul's,
undead?
they could not. And also they're made of teeth and claws. And strong. But yeah, Arugul's curse spread beyond the walls. Everyone on the other side of that wall turned into a Worgen. They're feral for the most part. There's a whole starting quest area. Eventually they become less feral because a druid from the Night Elves shows up with the Scythe of ELUNE and makes them less insane. Less insane.
But they're still cray-cray.
They're a little loony.
ELUNE?
A little loony.
Okay.
And they were not the savage Worgen that she was used to. They had intelligence, they had weapons, they had armor. And they had their senses. King Gen Greymane had his royal chemist Krenin Aranis create a potion to restore their sanity, in addition to the Scythe of ELUNE. So they fight back, and Sylvanas dies. Again. It's the third death.
I thought that was the second.
No, because it would have been Arthas killed her and turned her into a banshee. Then she threw herself off of the Icecrown Citadel,
Right.
and
I
then she
forgot about
just
that.
got
Yeah,
fucking
it's the
ganked.
third death.
Yeah. Lord Godfrey assassinates Sylvanas, shoots her quite dead. Her Valkyr resurrect her after Godfrey and his allies retreat back to Shadowfang Keep. They have now updated that dungeon to have him in it. Resurrecting Sylvanas costs her 3 of her 9 Valkyr, as they speak of the pact made with the jailer. We are bound to her, sisters. It will destroy us, sister. It is our secret duty. The pact was made, the bargain was made, then let it be done. I saw only darkness. It's the same thing that Arthas says. Which is a lie, because she saw the jailer.
Maybe he was darkness then, too.
The mall's pretty dark.
Mm.
Anyway, nevertheless, Gilneas was abandoned. Its people fled to Darnassus with the Night Elves, who came to study the Worgen. Forsaken claimed Silverpine Forest for themselves, avoiding Gilneas because it was full of still very feral Worgens that they didn't get the potion out to in time. And that city remained abandoned until about last month.
Hmm.
Yeah, we just had a quest to claim it. I don't know that they're going to do anything with it necessarily, but it is there now. Good for them. You get a hat out of it.
Is it a nice hat?
No,
Oh.
it's kind of mediocre.
Well, I have a hat.
Yeah. Gazan is destroyed by the Cataclysm, and the Bilgewater Cartel flee the ruins and join the Horde. So there's many different cartels in the Goblins. This is the biggest one. Their island is now covered in lava. They'll recover it later. We still can't go there, mind you, which is a shame, because it's actually a very interesting area. The fine purveyor of squeaky flamingos. And they claim as Shara. They use something called a City in a Box, which deploys and builds this thing. They have promised us since 2010 that that cannon will be fired, and they have not used it, which is a shame. It's just sitting there, pointed at the Eastern Kingdoms. Their leader is this guy, Jaster Gallywix. He secures position of leader of the Goblins. He has kind of a history, which is interesting. We won't go into it right now. I will note that cane of his is made, the King Topper, I should say, is made of the blood of Azeroth, which at this time is gold. Interesting. Also, I can't help but mention that he sort of looks familiar. Wouldn't you say? Opie? Opie? I can't hear you. Oh dear, she's disconnected.
Is this better?
Yes.
Kind of, and also I said I was talking about, or I was going to talk about who would play him in a live action.
Oh.
John
Well, I
Leguizamo.
yes, that is certainly an option. Some people compared him to the former Blizzard CEO, Blizzard Activision CEO.
I don't know
I
who he looks like.
let's just say he looks very similar, but let's also say that
Mm,
he sort of looks a little,
he do.
yeah. Anyway, we'll just move right on.
Bye bye.
The Gilneans take refuge amongst the Alliance, who welcome them into their ranks. They were, after all, allies like 15 years ago, so good for them. Now we have furries in the Alliance. Good, yeah. The Night Elves also welcome the Chandrilar back into the society. These are the highborn elves that had fled down and were living in Diremall. Arcane magic is now okay, I guess, with them, because reasons. So we get Night Elf mages. The Defias Brotherhood is reborn under Vanessa Van Cleef after years of inactivity. Heroes of the Alliance are sent in to deal with them. They have, so that ogre is interesting. There's a whole story about him. He ran off during the initial invasion of Azeroth by the orcs in Warcraft 1. So, like, he showed up minutes into the invasion and just went right over to the dead mines. But he had a
He noped
plan.
away.
Yeah. So you could say that Cho'Gall probably had some sort of plan for him, but here he is. Anyway. Orgrimmar. This is what it looked like originally. Garrosh thought it looked a little bit shit. He's not wrong. It's made out of sticks and stones and mud. So he built it out of slightly better sticks and stones and spikes.
But not bones?
No.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I forget what element it is, but it's interesting. It's like adamantite or something. It's pretty strong. The Horde, Alliance, and Scourge clash over the ruins of Anderhall. Claim the ruins. The Horde claims victory for the Forsaken, but the General Kultira Deathweaver is punished for his weakness shown in trying to establish a truce with the Alliance. So he's a Death Knight, and he was captured by Sylvanas and thrown under Undercity to be tortured. Yeah, I don't know if it is mud either, to be honest with you. It could be many other things. He's back. This is Balnazar. He was in the revamped Stratholme now, doing Scarlet Crusade things again. We kill him again. You know the drill by now. He just went back to Argus to respawn. Anyway, Prison Island of Tolbrod from Warcraft 2 has become an open world PvP area. It is of no relevance and nobody played it, so we'll move on.
Okay.
The walls protecting Uldum, a Titan facility in the south of Kalimdor, next to Silithus, has broken down during the Cataclysm, revealing an ancient Titanic secret. The Halls of Origination.
Oh.
The Forge of Origination is a failsafe in the event that Azeroth becomes corrupted by the Old Gods. It would annihilate all life and reboot the world. This is what the Annihilation Code from Uldum would have eventually sent here and re-originated the world. Alduar, I should say. You remember the Constellar that was there that was going to send the code and blow us up?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, this is the facility that would do that. It's interesting to know, this is a desert with oases and waters and everything. This was not originally like that. It was originally a jungle. It was already partially originated, and it turned to dust. Also, Titans don't build pyramids. Old gods built pyramids. So those are the remains of old god dwellings, built right on top of, or I should say, the Titan facilities were built into old god facilities. So that's interesting. It's also where the Alakir invade from Skywall, the air elemental plane, and the Vortex Pinnacle is hovering in the area there. Queen Ashara and Azumat assault Neptulon's forces in Vajir for the defiance of N'Zoth. N'Zoth wants to claim the elementals again, as he did during the Black Empire. And Neptulon's not having it. He's on our side. Lance and Horde forces rally under the Earthen Ring to stop the assault and save Neptulon. A lot of content was actually cut from this area of the game. There's supposed to be a whole raid down here. They didn't put that in the game. So we don't really know how that turned out, but I guess he's okay. So good for him. Because the last time we saw him, he got sucked away by a tentacle from Azamat, who is a giant octopus. I think they spent most of their time just trying to get the swimming working here, because it works a little different than everywhere else. So they didn't really have time to finish it. We enter into Deepholm to try and repair the World Pillar and discover the Twilight Hammer's camp where they had been repairing Deathwing in that cutscene. We also find...
Oh.
Just throw it in my mouth a little bit. So, there's Zane's here. Good for her. Druids rush to Hyjal as Ragnaros manifests part of the Firelands directly into Hyjal Mountain in order to try and burn it down. Quite literally, his palace is just there. You got splashed with water, so that's fun.
He did.
Have a drink. I'll have a drink as
I
well.
will.
Wet my whistle.
Of dragon's blood, because Dragon's the one that did it.
Well, that seems rude.
Maybe his blood is very hydrating. We'll find out.
We end up invading the Firelands and killing Ragnaros. We actually killed him dead this time. We killed him in his plane.
Dead.
Oh yes. If you kill them on their own dimension, then they are full-on dead. It was quite an involved event to get that to work. We actually had to go into the Firelands over and over again, week after week. Hey, they found the hat.
Yeah, I wasn't doing any dumb. Why do
We'll
I
see.
have the patience hat on? Oh, a crown.
Also, Fandral Staghelm was on the side of Ragnaros. Remember that asshole? We finally kill him, so good. He's done. He just
He
can't
has
leave well
tiny
enough alone,
wings.
so... He does have tiny little pathetic wings. It's true. But yes, he was the Druids of the Flame. He led them all. They all want their immortality back, and apparently their idea of immortality is now just to become elementals, question mark? He's dead. Fuck him.
I don't know what that one was, but it was cute.
Wildhorma dwarves join the alliance, as do the Dragonmaw orcs join the horde. Both who had been hiding in the eastern wetlands, now known as the Twilight Highlands, to become corrupted by Old God Nazoth. These are some of his minions, sort of buttholing it around up in the hills there, as you can see. This is what I was actually going to show you earlier when we played.
Mm.
Yeah.
I needed my chicken.
Yeah. Venture into Grim Batol. This is where the Dragonmaw had kept the red dragons during the Second War. And the Twilight Hammer have been in here experimenting on the red dragons, the few that remained in there. They were making the Twilight Dragonflight, mixing them with black dragons and old god goodness. There's also the Bastion of Twilight, which is a palace created by Cho'Gall. We go in there and beat his ass. Kind of a weird looking tower. Kind of looks like
Cool,
the
though.
Nexus, but backwards. It's like sucking energy out of Azeroth as opposed to sucking it in.
Mm.
Then into Blackwing Descent, which is back in Blackwing Mountain, or Blackrock Mountain, where we discover experiments to resurrect Onyxia Nefarian with shadow flames. So we have to kill them again, even though they're zombies and they're super undead. I don't think that they had their minds. They were just sort of moving around. They don't talk or anything, I don't think. Yeah, there's a lot of weird Black Dragon alchemy and necromancy, and shadow magic, shadow flame magic,
They
all sorts of
forgot the
things.
flesh on his foot there.
They forgot the flesh. Well, that's Onyxia, so that's her foot. And yes, there's big patches missing on both of them. You can see his ribs if you look on the left-hand side.
Mm.
Yeah, they're very much undead. We discover
Aw.
one of Deathwing's eggs, and we use some red dragon magic and titan stuff to purify it. Allegedly, this is the first black dragon born since Deathwing went crazy that is not corrupted by the old gods, and its name is Rathium. I mentioned him earlier. He only a babu now,
Sure, let's name something Wrath.
right?
Because
Also, we are,
Nefarian turned out so good.
of course. Also, we're basically his mom.
Aw.
We hatched him. He doesn't
Aw.
respect us. He never
Oh, of course.
calls. He never writes. He doesn't do his fucking chores.
Anything for Mother's Day at
Nothing.
all?
He
Nothing?
gave us a couple of capes
Oh, the
and
pink cape.
a socket for your headpiece. It's fine, I guess. Although
Maybe.
questionable.
Mm.
It let him see everything that we saw, which is weird. I'll get back to that at some point. Not this presentation, but I have a conspiracy presentation to do eventually. Anyway, this whole book. Alex, Drowsy, and Sarah, the remaining leaders of the Blue Dragonflight, gather at the Wormrest Temple in Northrend. Deathwing attacks and tries to create a diversion. Twilight cultists make their way into the Dragonflight Sanctums. That's the Sanctums. What is going on with your arms?
I
Cut
was
that out.
taking a drink of water.
Cut that out.
I can't help it. It does weird things.
Goddamn
That's
cyborg
great.
servos, get your shit together.
It's not even mine. It's
Anyway.
borrowed.
Twilight cultists make their way underneath the Wormrest Temple to where they have the Sanctums there, and they're trying to corrupt the eggs, trying to make Twilight Dragons. Goyelstra stops them, destroying the eggs in the process, and also himself. This was kind of the passing of the torch from Robert A. Knack, who Corielstras was one of his self-insert characters, and now Christy Golden has taken over writing the story, so she just kills off his character. Seems mean.
A little.
Sarah sees a vision of the future and sends Thrall to aid her and find Nozdormu. He was trapped in space and time somewhere.
He's a
Thrall,
bronze dragon.
that's right. Thrall then travels to the Nexus, where he aids the Blue Dragons in selecting their new leader, which is, of course, Calicos, because he's the only one with charisma. The embrace occurs, and Calicos becomes the dragon aspect. So the embrace is when, I think, the moons align with the sun. It's like a eclipse thing. I'm not
I thought
entirely
it
sure
was
on
when
the
a
details of.
vampire made a human a vampire.
Not in this situation, no.
Ah.
Rathian, who's already looking like a teenager for some reason, with the help, and yes, he does wear a turban in this scene.
Why?
Uh, with the help of the rogue champion, specifically a champion who is a rogue class, I should say, not a. Anyway. Kills the other black dragons he knows of. So they go around, they just murder and genocide all the black dragons. As many as they can find. Yeah. So he's like a day old and already committing genocide against his family, but he's not the corrupt one, right? Remember that? He's not corrupt.
No, not corrupt at all.
They grow up so fast, those scamps.
They do, and the not corruption just sneaks right on in. Ooh, pretty.
Now, Stormo has discovered the day that he dies,
Uh-oh.
in at least one timeline. The day he becomes Morazant, which is Nostormu backwards. It is his infinite dragonflight persona. He sends us through the timeways to fight the infinite dragonflight again in the end of time.
Uh-oh.
So that is a timeline where Deathwing succeeds and is then thrust upon Wyrmreth's temple because the old gods don't need him anymore because they won.
And now there's waterfalls of lava.
Yep. When we fight Morazant himself, and we kill Morazant. So at least we saved Nosdormu, kind of?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Did we?
We are also sent back to the Well of Eternity during the War of the Ancients in order to retrieve the Dragon Soul from moments after it was used in the Well of Eternity to destroy the Well of Eternity.
Why not before?
I don't know. Why not after? We have to put it back later, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, this happens.
Oh. That doesn't look good.
Why is there no sound? Oh, there it is.
There's none now. Oh, that was okay. So it was good.
Yeah.
He gets thrown into was it the maelstrom?
Yep.
Okay.
So the Maelstrom leads to Deepholm. If you were to jump in there, you would go into the Earth Elemental Plane.
Mm.
Thrall and the Dragon Aspects manage to corner Deathwing as he dives towards the Maelstrom to get back to Deepholm. They blast him with the Dragon Soul and weaken him. And then we fight him and kill him.
I can feel the elements awakening, rejoicing. The cataclysm is over.
The champions who fought at our side assured the survival of our world. But now, we must see it with mortal eyes. We dragon aspects have fulfilled our great purpose, and our ancient power is expended. But though our day draws to an end, life endures, and new generations will be born. Today's
Aw.
victory belongs to all who
They had
stood against
sex.
the shadow.
They did.
You are Azeroth's true guardians, and the future of this world is in your hands.
I like
For the dawning
Alexstrasza.
of the age of
Most people
mortals
think she's kind of
has
boring.
begun.
She talks very slow.
She does, but she's pretty badass.
Yeah, she's alright. So, using the Dragon Soul expended the last of the dragon magic, the Titan magic that had, made them into dragon aspects, leaving them as mortals and unable to reproduce, although that canonicity of their inability to reproduce is questionable at this point. Doesn't matter. You're getting soaked tonight.
Wow. Okay. I'll drink some more.
Alex,
Oh, it just makes me want to have to pee in a little bit. I hope you know that.
God damn it. Oxfordson explains this very slowly, like she will every time she speaks. Also, that is Agra, Thrall's wife, and she is super pregnant in this scene with his first son. I think he has 2 kids now. Thus begins our Green Jesus arc for Thrall. A lot of people refer to him as Green Jesus because he just sort of shows up and saves the day. Also, he kind of looks like a sage now because he's a shaman. Garrosh launches an assault on Theramore to push the Alliance out of Kalimdor altogether, culminating in the detonation of a mana bomb that ultimately destroys the city and nearly kills Jaina Proudmoore, bleaching her hair white, except for one streak of gold that's still left. She is, pissed?
But does she do anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
almost.
Oh.
Yeah. She's just about to flood Durotar and destroy Orgrimmar, but Kalik was able to talk her down. He's probably sleeping with her at this point. There's a lot of speculation about that. Anyway, Archmage Ronan dies in the explosion. That is now 2 of Richard Knack's characters that Christy Gold has killed off. Rude.
How many more are there?
Well, there was only the one more, and he died off screen. Richard A. Knack killed him off, so it's fine. The Alliance Horde War evolves into a full-scale conflict. We're now thoroughly into the 4th war. Chen Stormstone is niece Lili's search for the Wandering Isles, only to discover that the mists around Pandaria have been disturbed by the Cataclysm. By far one of the most hated characters in the WoW history, this little annoying twerp, Lili.
The name sounds like it would be an annoying person.
Yep. Just a little bit too spunky and full of energy and bouncy and high-pitched and panda. The Alliance crashes an airship into the back of the giant turtle where a bunch of pandas live. This is in fact the Wandering Isle that Chen was looking for. They split into the Tushui and Huijin, 2 different factions of pandas, and join the Alliance and Horde respectively. Except for this guy. This is Double Agent. He is a player character who has been leveling since Mists of Pandaria. Every time he levels to max level, but he has not left the Wandering Isle. He does it through crafting, gathering mostly, and he has not joined either the Alliance or the Horde, which you normally do at level 10. Double Agent.
In the other game that I played, you couldn't progress past the level until you did the quest to pick something.
Yes, I would say it's definitely talent. I mean, he's literally running around. You can't get any XP from any of the creatures that you kill because you're too high level. You can only get experience from gathering herbs, and I can't remember what else he does. That might be it, actually. It might just be crafting and gathering. And we always keep an eye out anytime a new expansion comes to see if Double Agent has hit max level. Usually takes about 20 days.
Wow, that's not even
Yeah.
that bad.
Not even. No, it's pretty good. And that brings us pretty swiftly to...
Oh, cute.
Mists of Pandaria.
So great.
So Pandaria is kind of accidentally discovered by the Alliance when they were fleeing from each other in the South Sea. Naval ships at battle, rough seas, wrong turns, eventually leading to what they thought was probably going to be just an unpopulated area, but they find Pandaria.
And pandas live in Pandaria.
More than pandas. Much more than pandas.
To ask why we fight is to ask why the leaves fall. It is in their nature. Perhaps there is a better question.
vitamin E on those nails.
I mean, he's been at sea for God knows how long.
Broke the temple.
Yeah, they'll do a lot of that this expansion.
To ring the bell.
They'll do a lot of that this expansion. We're now watching Kung Fu Panda. Pixar, please don't sue us.
I love his expression.
I put a lot of work into these trailers now.
Why do we fight? To protect home and family. To preserve balance and bring harmony. For my kind, the true question is, what is worth fighting for?
We got a little bit of a follow-up to that.
Oh, they're friends now?
God.
So... it was a bear? In a hat!
The kitty. How dare you? It was a bear in a hat.
In a hat!
Are pandas bears?
Yes.
Okay. I know we call them panda bears. I just didn't know if they were
Koalas
actually
are
bears.
marsupials. Pandas are bears.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a bear too.
So there's a lot to unpack here. They actually started writing lore at this point, not just connective tissue between the different zones. It's actual story going on because Christy Golden was brought on. Alright. The Horde and Alliance accidentally discover Pandaria, as I said, and their fight's spilling out into the Jade Forest. They shoot each other down over the Honeydew Glade. So their airships crash, their boats crash on the shores. They're fighting in this temple. Thunderhold, the former Mogu fortress. Mogu, if you recall, were the weird-looking Titan constructs that sort of look Chinesey.
Mhm.
Yeah. they enslaved the Pandarans for 10,000 years or some odd amount of time. Where the expedition leaders transform into the Shah after expressing their rage. Taranzu, Lord of the Shadowpan monks, appears to help dispel the old god spawn and explains that this land is cursed. So, Yashiraj corrupted this land when he was pulled out by Amantul. Now, if you express any strong emotion, the Shah will manifest from your emotions, as is what happened here. Taranzu, part of the Shadowpan, have been fighting against these creations for millennia.
Hmm.
He's sort of pissed that we just brought war to his very peaceful, tranquil lands. Both factions retreat to the Jade Forest to regroup. Beautiful zone. The Alliance discovers a race of fishmen called the Jinyu. They're like hyper-evolved Murlocs. The Horde discovers a race of monkey men known as the Hosen. Dukin Dukin. We're supposed to not know who this is, apparently.
Mm.
Anduin Rin, now a teenager, washes up on the shores of the Jade Forest and is discovered by the Hosen. The Alliance Secret Intelligence Service, or the SI-7, discovered them and attempt to bring him to safety, but he declines and escapes from them, seeking to learn more about the healing magic of the Veil of Eternal Blossom. Shortly after this, a different tribe of Hosen captures him and brings him to the Horde base in their village. He once again slips away from his captors. He's a slippery little fish, this boy. Venture into the Temple of the Jade Serpent, where the Shah of Doubt has been attacking the monks within, and learn of the August Celestials. This is a group of wild gods, specifically tailored to the Pandaren race, to represent the Chinese zodiac, kind of. Doesn't make a lot of sense in lore, but we're just gonna have to go with it, so here we go. There's a dragon named ELUNE who's inside, whose life is nearing its end, and for some reason, in order to be reborn, needs a giant jade statue, which is not how wild gods work, but again, just moving on. Massive jade statue, known as the Serpent's Heart, is constructed, or being constructed, to act as the vessel for Yu'lon's essence to give birth to the new jade dragon, which will just be ELUNE again, but somehow younger. Fuck knows how that works. Of course, our stupid asses bring the war straight to its foot.
A message must lie within. What fate did the Emperor foresee?
That doesn't look very good.
That's very bad, in fact. So the Horde and the Alliance fight at the foot of the statue, causing it to shatter and unleash the Shah of Doubt, a fragment of your charge, a particularly nasty one. The aftermath of dealing with the Shah of Doubt leaves the statue shattered and the dragon ELUNE with nowhere for her soul to inhabit. You can see that the ground around the statue is corrupted as well, which sucks. Players meet with Chen and Lily Stormstout, who are making a pilgrimage to ancestral lands of the Valley of Four Winds, peaceful and quaint farming region. We basically just fuck off and decide that's somebody else's problem. Bye. Players are granted a small farming plot on Half Hill. You do a lot of farming dailies here and do some cooking. Learn about 100 different cooking recipes. Pretty fun. Little farming minigame. We help defend Stormstout Brewery from ale elementals. Just ale elementals. Beer elementals. And rat creatures called vermin, and also more hosen. Meanwhile, in the Karsang wilds, the local Pandaren are being affected by lethargy spreading in the region, spilling out from the Shaw of Despair and the Temple of the Red Crane. The Red Crane, Chi-Ji, is another of the August Celestials. We fight and defeat the Shaw and cleanse the temple, at least for now. Next, we regroup with the Night Elf Sentinels, or with the Tauren, who have set up in the area. Take on the Mogu forces in the ruins of Korja. We discover the Serpent's Spine, a great wall dividing Pandaria from the forces of the Mantid, which are old god insect minions who reside beyond. They're still very loyal to their masters. Make our way to the north, to Kunlai Summit, where we discover the ancient ancestors of the Tauren, the Yungal. They're attacking.
They look like yaks.
They are.
kind of.
Yeah, they are yaks. They're like yak Tauren.
Oh,
These are the
tiny little
ancestors.
animals.
Yeah. Interesting of note is that there's a book from the Titans in one of the events that you can do in Dragonflight that talks about the Yungal being cave dwellers and possibly the original life on Azeroth.
Interesting.
Yeah. Lorewalker Cho was able to save Admiral Taylor and General Nazgrim. Those are the two that you see fighting in the original trailer.
That became friends, drinking buddies.
Sort of. Along with a few other members of each other's factions. They're looking to get Pandarans to ally with them, not with the opposite faction. The adventurer's faction commander instructs the adventurers to help evacuate the area of East Wind Rest or West Wind Rest. Also, there's these guys, the Grummels, the Yaks.
Aw.
They sell Lucky Doos and Shinies. I think they're kind of racist, but
Oh.
we'll just move on. I'm not sure what the racist about. Somebody, sure. Adventurers first run across the Shadowpen at the Shadowpen Fallback, where they have retreated from the Yungal. After fending them off, Ben Bearheart takes adventurers to the Shadowpen Monastery in a hot air balloon. We're demanding answers as to why nobody has been able to get any reinforcements as of late. That is because Taranzu has been trying to solo gank the Shaw of Anger and Shaw of Hatred and the Shaw of Violence, all contained within. The Shaw of Hatred has taken him over, and we go into the monastery and beat him until he stops being angry. As you do.
As you do.
We venture into Mogushun Vault. This is a vault where Mogu stored things. They were keepers working for the Titans. They kept things in these vaults and had Titan relics and all sorts of nonsense in there. The Zandalari trolls are invading because they want their Thunder King back.
Why does it look like a right side up airbender temple?
Well, it's Chinese architecture. It's inspired by the same sort of architecture, I'm sure.
Suppose.
It's built into a mountain. Interesting of note, inside that vault is a celestial dragon who looks an awful lot like Algalon. His name is Elgon. Odd.
Well, very odd.
I've been trying to get that mount too. No luck.
So, how many mounts have you been trying to get?
Most of them. I have a lot.
27?
Yeah, more than that.
Mm.
Just like in the Halls of Stone, the big facility here for pumping out Mogu soldiers. These ones come out of the walls, oddly enough. I don't know if they're being stored here or manufactured. There's definitely a place that they're being manufactured, but they also come out of this area. Next, we head into the Taolong Steppes, fighting back the Yongle past the Serpent's spine, encountering the Shaw of Hatred again.
It gets around.
Yep. We encounter the Mantid, who have been trying to breach the wall and have partially succeeded for the most part. And you fight and destroy the Shaw of Hatred. Well, Terran Zoo does most of the work, to be honest with you.
You know, he's got to be useful somewhere.
Checking on Yu Zhao, the Black Ox August Celestial in his temple. He was mad. Now he's not mad. So he beat the Shaw of Anger. Yay.
I'm sure
Then
he's
we
happy
go
now.
south again into the Dread Wastes. This is on the other side of the Karasong Wilds. And there's Mantid here in full force. So they have these giant trees that they've impregnated with their weird amber and stuff. And old god nonsense and Shaw corruption. This thing, their queen, Grand Empress Shikzir. Kill her. And we killed the Shaw of Fear. He looks cool. I like his color
He
scheme.
does.
And finally, we make it into the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, which has been cut off from the rest of Pandaren society for, well, since the War of the Ancients, so at least 10,000 years, maybe longer than that. Conveniently, there is a temple here for both the Horde and the Alliance to each have one, so they're not fighting on neutral ground. There was a gate protecting the area, has been there for a long time, and the August Celestials have finally opened it now. Very tranquil area, very peaceful. Sort of like their, what's that paradise in Chinese mythology?
Not Nirvana.
No,
I don't know.
Shangri-La.
Ah, yes, yes.
Very similar to like a Shangri-La concept.
Let's
The
do
water's
that little
here.
door under the platform.
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, I asked.
We'll find out.
Oh,
It's important to note here that the waters here are theoretically the same sort of waters that Tyr used to create the dragons. So, spooky life, order, magic water.
could make more dragons if there was Tyr.
Could, except things happen.
Mm.
We invade Mokshan Palace, so that is that palace there. We go up the stairs. We stop their newly minted King Zin from doing whatever it is he had in mind. Did Mogu things. Probably slavery. We also do PvP in the Temple of Kutmagu, which ends up being remarkably like a sport ball game. It's like a weird monk sports ball. Head into the Terrace of Eternal Spring and fight the Shaw of Fear. He's also cool looking. I like that dungeon. The Alliance and the Horde reinforcements have made landfall in Karsang Wilds to the south. Varian Rin constructing Lion's Landing and Garrosh Hellscream constructing Dominance Point. They begin to fight over resources in sort of open world PvP sort of stuff. And a lot of what are called scenarios, which are like mini missions for 1 to 5 players. Taronda Whisperwind and her forces are ambushed by the Horde, and the Temple of Red Crane and the Champions of Lion's Landing are sent to defend her and free the temple from the Horde's occupation. Garrosh sends in Vol'jin and a team of Korkron, as well as the Champion of Domination Point, that is your player character if you're a Horde, to deal with the Sarok, which is these lizard men. During the mission, an assassination attempt by Garrosh against Vol'jin. Vol'jin goes into hiding. Vol'jin very strongly opposes Garrosh, thinks he's kind of an asshole, as he is. So he's now forced into hiding. At some point, the Night Elves discover the Divine Bell. That's not the same bell that you saw rung in the trailer, but similar. It's made from pieces of the Titan Keeper Ra. And they've secured that particular artifact in Teldrassil, back on their tree island. Garrosh sends an invasion fleet to Teldrassil to steal it and sabotage Lorthamar's negotiations with the Alliance. So Lorthamar of the Blood Elves has been trying to calm things down a little bit. Garrosh doesn't want that. They use Dalaran as the hub for teleportation quickly in and out of the Night Elf capital. Dalaran, of course, has portals everywhere. So they thought, well, we'll send our invasion forces to Dalaran and use the portal there to get to Teldrassil. Yeah, Jaina didn't like that.
We're too late. This entire city must be purged. Jaina?
I'm sorry, Arthas. I can't watch you do this.
Aethys, Sunreaver! Dalaran is a better place without your kind. Kirin Tor will not tolerate insurrection.
Oh, Jaina.
Anduin, I know exactly what he's asking. Oh, look who's arrived. Nobody dislikes Garrosh more than me. I wrestle with my anger every day. Come with me. Look around you a moment. In the aftermath of Theramore, my first instinct was to decimate Orgrimmar. To kill every man, woman, and child in the city.
Jaina.
I'm not proud. Since then, Kalikos and I have talked at length about power and how it should be used.
And banged.
The Kirin Tor has a legacy of abuse. Kel'Thuzad turned his knowledge of the arcane arts toward necromancy. Kael'thas Sunstrider was also a student here, another of our fold who betrayed us. Every day I ask myself, what's the right thing to do? Anduin, you know more than anyone. It's important to separate the Horde from its people. The Sunreavers still operate within this city. Alliance and Horde work together. As long as we stay above the war, then there's hope for the world as a whole. I see our city as a beacon of light showing the way. If we can trust one another here, then there's hope for the rest of the world.
I understand. I'll talk to my father.
Thank you, Anduin.
You are a hero of the Horde. Your deeds in Northrend and during the Cataclysm are the stuff of legend. For this reason, I trust in your discretion. I am a ranger, not a politician.
That's
like it or
welcome, by the
not, the mantle of leadership has fallen on my shoulders. My people, who have suffered through so many challenges and betrayals, look to me to secure their future. We Sindori were driven to the Horde by the bigotry and distrust of the Alliance. Now, I look at our war chief, and I begin to see the very same racism. I won't stand idle if the Horde interests conflict with those of my people. I may reconsider old alliances. Keep your eyes open, champion. We are all in this together. For now.
Goodbye. Come with me. I had Darnassus locked down. Every fumbling rogue that tried to sneak into the city, I caught them. I snatched every two-bit charlatan that attempted to teleport through my traps. They couldn't possibly have gotten through. This was an inside job. Somebody inside the city has the bell. No. These portals connect to Dalaran. That means the Kirin Tor, my own Kirin Tor, helped the Horde commit this atrocity. I will not be betrayed again. Those responsible for this will be punished. Aethys, Sunreaver!
She sounds angry.
She is pissed.
You've betrayed the Kirin Tor, Sunreaver. You've allowed Garrosh to move his forces through my city.
You have it all wrong, Jaina. I did nothing.
You looked the other way. You and your insubordinate kind are no longer welcome here.
This is our city too, Proudmoore.
I see. I will remove the Sunreavers by force then. You, Aegis, will be coming with me. Delaran is a better place without your kind. Kirin will not tolerate insurrection.
Jaina's gone over the edge. She's imprisoning the Sun Reavers and attacking those who resist. What's worse, the Silver Covenant has seized the opportunity to join the bloodshed. We need to save whoever we can, and we'll need to move quickly. Wait for my command. Go, 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 go! To the
Silver
center of
Covenant
the
are
city!
High Elves.
This way!
Blood Elves who did not become Blood
This
Elves.
isn't here. Must have moved him. We can continue without him.
The Horde champion's going around helping people escape.
Aethys, this way, into the portal.
Very slow walk.
Stay by me. We're going out the tunnel.
Goddamn
Stay
Romath.
by my side.
No.
Jaina, what's happening in Dalaran? Has there been an attack?
The Kirin was betrayed from within. I've handled the situation. I've purged the Horde from Delaran. You have what you wanted, Your Majesty. The Kirin belongs to the Alliance.
But you said...
I know what I said. My trust was misplaced.
What of the Sindorai? The Sun Reavers?
Those that surrendered are being taken to the Violet Hold. I make no guarantees about those who chose to fight.
Jaina, you need to talk to me before you act.
How I run the Kirin is my business.
I was trying to negotiate with the Sindorai. I was opening discussions to bring them into the Alliance. By attacking their people, you forced their hand.
They chose their own path.
You've driven them back to the Horde.
You're fooling yourself. Once Horde, always Horde. I see that now. I'm mobilizing the Kirin
Jaina, we've got to work together on this. The Alliance must act as one.
Don't get soft on me, Varian.
Aethys, you're alive.
Thanks to this hero, a few of us made it out of there. Many more have been sent to the Violet Hold.
Anara Lashdanal. Will someone tell me what is going on in Dalaran?
Proudmoore. She's gone and expelled the Sun Reavers from the city. She's purging the Horde from the Kirin
She's gone too far. I'm certain the Alliance can move their war mages through the city at will. That human witch!
Oh, he angry.
When will they learn?
Flip the
When
bitch.
will they see
He
that the
did.
Horde exists because of the Alliance? Because of their prejudice and their bigotry? They force us ever closer to Hellscream's Horde.
My lord.
Alduran, summon the Rangers. Romath, assemble the Blood Magi and add the Sun Reaver's strength to your own. We Sindorai will take our future into our own hands. And get this damn thing out of my sight. Hellscream bought his treasure with the blood of my people. I hope it destroys him.
My lord, you would make a fine war chief.
It may come to that. Bring me my blades. The next move is mine.
But your vision's cut in half.
Yeah, he's only got one eye.
Mm-hmm.
So, as if Jaina needed any more reason to be pissed off after the destruction of her own city of Theramore, this was the last straw for her. She blamed Aethys Sun Reaver for allowing the Horde to use Dalaran for their war efforts, and begins slaughtering basically every Blood Elf in the city, leaving the High Elves because, you know, they're friends of hers. Big turn for Jaina here. One that's gonna be pretty constant for the rest of her life. She's just an angry girl now, and Very powerful. Very, very powerful. I'm take a little diversion here into this book. You may be thinking, why the hell are we covering a Dragonflight book? Well, it's because it happens around here. Calicos, I don't know if he's just bored or what. He decides to go to Northrend and finds a spark of Tyr, little lingering piece of Tyr's soul from when Galakron bit his hand off. This triggers a wacky vision quest that has no consequences until Dragonflight, in which he relives the memories of Malagos fighting Galakron and stuff. Just important to note that it happens right now, not later. Anduin discovers that Garrosh has moved the Divine Bell to the Mogu facility in Kunlai. Garrosh rings the bell, believing it would rid the Horde of their negative emotions that the Shah represent and let them control them. Anduin attempts to convince Garrosh to stop, as his men begin to transform into Shah. Anduin rings the bell with a special mallet, attempting to purify the Shah. Garrosh is pissed and destroys the bell, nearly crushing Anduin to death beneath it. You can see him squashed. The Zandalari managed to resurrect Li Shen, and ally once more with him and his Mogu subjects. They were slaves of his many, many eons ago. There's a whole trailer for that. Pretty big patch.
Her hills of gold, in dark and mournful times of old, did once a hopeless horror hold. When from her sacred veil did spring, with storm and flash, a monstrous thing, his name, Lei Shen, the Thunder King. His thunder boomed across the land, and none who dared and fought could stand against the Iron Tyrant's hands. A palace grand, a walled domain, such mighty works born of his reign, built by slaves, their hearts in chains. But seasons change and tyrants die, his fury spent in times gone by. The thunder slept beneath Kunlai.
Secure the remains, brothers.
By Zandalari hands, he has been taken. By Zandalari voice, he has awakened. Gather heroes, sound the drums. The Thunder King comes. The Thunder King comes.
The Kirin-Tor offensive and the Sunreaver onslaught land on the Isle of Thunder and begin to each besiege Lei Shen's palace with the Shadow Pan. There's his palace there in all its might. Fairy Thunder. Take the fight directly to Lei Shen and the Throne of Thunder, massive and ancient fortress that channels the power of lightning directly into him. He is absorbing the storms. We discover that Ra is still alive, despite being all cut the fuck up. You can actually see flesh underneath, which is weird, because he's made of stone. He's a Titan construct. How the hell does that work? His mind is pretty broken. So Lei Shen stole his power, eons ago. Many, many eons ago. We kill Lei Shen. Ra's power returns to him, along with some fragments of his sanity. I don't have a slide here for it, because I'll bring it up in another presentation another day. Rathian eats Lei Shen's heart. And,
That doesn't seem good for life.
well, dragons do be like that sometimes. But he
Will they be immortal
receives...
now?
Yeah. Anyway, he receives a vision that was intended for Keeper Ra, which is a message that says, I believe, something along the lines of, we have been defeated. We must reconstruct the last Titan. We have an expansion coming soon called The Last Titan. But Rathian laughs it off and says, ha ha ha, they must have forgot. Anyway, the Zandalari recruit the Frostmane tribe. These are frost trolls that lived in Dunborough around the Ironforge area. They lead an assault against Ironforge. Varian meets with Moira to lend aid in defending the city. We kill a bunch of frost trolls. There aren't that many of them, historically. It's not like a huge tribe. Horde and Alliance do battle in Deepwind Gorge in the Valley of the Four Winds in a new PvP zone. Pretty neat. I like the terrain there. And the goblins under War Chief Garrosh excavate the Vale of Eternal Blossom, searching for a mysterious artifact known as the Dark Heart. It should be noted there is a patch coming soon to the retail game of Dragonflight called the Dark Heart. We do wonder what that's about. The device is located within a hidden vault under Mogushun Palace. Within the prison box resides the still-beating heart of the old god Yasharaj, which begins to possess Garrosh's men. Vol'jin emerges from hiding and begins the Darkspear Rebellion. He's sick of Garrosh's war and the way he treats non-orcs in the Horde. The Barrens becomes a war zone as Vol'jin and the rest of the Horde forces unite with the Alliance and try and wrest control of Orgrimmar from Garrosh and his loyal forces, the Kron. So a civil war in action now. A coup. Alliance spies, as well as Vol'jin's forces, discover that Garrosh has been constructing a massive underground facility beneath Orgrimmar in the tunnels of Ragefire Chasm. In addition to producing new weapons and war machines and training soldiers, they have also secured proto-Drake eggs for the now loyal Dragonmaw clan.
I stretched it. They have a redeemed stretch.
Let's see. Let me get this cutscene.
It thirsts. Bring it to the pools.
So the magic water full of order magic and life. And they're gonna toss an old god heart into it.
You have run
doesn't seem
rampant
like a good
for far
idea.
too long, Hellscream.
You think?
But that stops now. Step aside, Pandaren. You confront a force beyond reckoning. Your father dabbled in powers beyond reckoning. Where is he now?
the bridge.
It's okay. He's a monk.
I have fought beside the Tauren, trolls, and others. You are nothing like them. They are no longer part of my horde. The world will hear of this. They will come for you. Yes, I'm counting on it. The armies of the world will come for me. And within my fortress, they will face all the terrible creatures I have wrought. The boundless power I have mastered. And one by one, they will fall at my feet. Anyone who would rise against my new horde will be impaled upon the spires of Orgrimmar! You Pandaren tried to bury your hate and your anger. But such power cannot be contained. It must be unleashed! A time will come when you will answer for your crimes. I answer to no one!
Bad.
Oh yeah.
Will burn in the fires of my hatred.
So that zone got fucked. You were wondering what's in the little door. A raid.
Oh.
The Heart of Yasharaj is unearthed, and Garrosh Hellscream uses the pools of power to revive the heart, destroying half of the Veil of Eternal Blossom in the process. We venture in there and eventually find that he's left behind his Gorehowl axe and taken up another one. I'll get to that in a moment. The Shaw of Pride is unleashed from Garrosh's actions, and the Klaxi Paragons join Garrosh's forces, and who holds the heart of their fallen god, of course, so they're loyal to the god, and now they're loyal to Garrosh. Siege of Orgrimmar, the Darkspear Revolution. Support from the Alliance besieges Orgrimmar in hopes to replace the tyrant. We go through the little door. And we fight this guy.
Oh.
Yeah. The Shaw of Pride. Discover a room in which the heart of Yasharaj had been stored. Now this guy is there, having manifested from the pride of the Kokrakron, and of course from Garrosh himself. Here we find that Garrosh has discarded his father's axe Gorehowl and taken up a void-corrupted weapon, which has taken the form of Gorehowl, and is calling itself Zalatoth. Not Zalateth. Desecrated image of Gorehowl. We join the forces attacking Orgrimmar and are met with resistance from Warlord Zayla, leader of the Dragon Maw clan, atop the proto-drake Galakras, son of Galakrond. We fight our way to the gates of Orgrimmar, where we fight the Iron Juggernaut. I have this mount. I have two of these mounts, actually. First through the gates of Org and into Grommash Hold, where we fight our way down an elevator and into Ragefire Chasm. General Nazgrim puts up resistance, and we kill him. Eventually make our way down to Garrosh in his new throne room, deep beneath the city of Orgrimmar. And he has that hanging out over top of him.
Uh-huh.
Now, As the fight rages on, Thrall lends his aid, and Garrosh struggles to keep up, absorbing more and more power from the heart of Yashiraj that hangs over us. Until finally, his body just can't hold that much old god energy. And this happens.
让你们见识我真正的力量吧！
This is exactly how it happened in the game. This is canon. Exactly how it happened. We are treated to a vivid nightmare vision of Garrosh's defeat of the Alliance in Stormwind. You can see bodies on pyres and spikes there in the background, the city on fire, the Void corrupted. And we fight the Void-infused Orc, and we defeat him. We don't kill him. We do defeat him.
You disappoint me, Garrosh. You are not worthy of your father's legacy.
His punishment is not for you alone to decide.
I won't let you take him.
We have all suffered from his atrocities. My people, more than any other. Let him stand trial in Pandaria. There, we will mete out justice for all.
You could have just killed him.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna do that or either chain him up so we can get free and do bad things later.
Its true war chief, now more than ever.
Yes, but it was you that held the Horde together during this madness. It was you that protected our honor. From this day forward, Vol'jin, if
Best war chief.
lead, I will follow.
Second best.
I am not worthy.
Second best war chief. Thrall is better.
Well, yeah.
But I will give my all for the Horde.
Ugh, look at them. Already they plot against us. Seize this moment, Varian.
They're just crowning a new leader, Jaina. Go do nothing somewhere else.
Father, what are you doing?
Shut up, Dork.
What a king must do.
I will speak to your war chief. I speak for the Horde.
Very well. The Horde has committed heinous crimes, Vol'jin. But some among you fought against Garrosh's tyranny. For that, I am willing to end this bloodshed. But know this. If your Horde fails to uphold honor as Garrosh did, we will end you.
Okay, so he does have a little bit of honor.
A little bit. So we kick Garrosh's ass. Thrall's about to smash his head with the Doomhammer. Varian stops him. Decides he is due a fair trial. He gets that trial. Clapped in chains, taken away. You know, everyone kind of questions this logic.
Yeah, just Doomhammer him!
We'll come back to this in a minute. There's actually a little bit more mists that happens here. The Timeless Isle appears off the coast of Pandaria, having been hidden in the Time Ways for millennia. It's basically just a grind fest while we wait for the next expansion, but it had some interesting lore there. Obviously, Celestial show up, there's Pokemon battles. You can't do this content anymore because you can't get the cloak to fly across to the top where the burning temple there is, which sucks, but oh well.
Can we pause for a moment? Because I gotta pee now.
Can you make it like a few more slides, then we'll get to Warlord's Drano and pause there?
Okay.
It'll be quick. Rathian is up to no good, among other things. He makes us one of his many fine cloaks that he'll make going forward. And what has become a very frustrating trend, vital lore happens in a book again. This is stuff that they do not explain in the game, and if you don't read the book, and nobody did, you won't know what the hell happened. You'll have to read a summary on Wowhead or something. Anyway, basically, Garrosh Hellscream escapes from custody in Pandaria with the help of Rathian. Garyaz Zayla. Garyaz takes him to an alternate Draenor 35 years earlier in hopes to build an infinite army to fight against the Alliance and the Horde, now restructured. We can pause there. We'll pick it up in a second.
Okay.
AFK. Sorry, I wanted to finish off this slide real quick here. Cairo Straz, who's this blood elf looking fellow here, he is a bronze dragon, and he has access to a time artifact whose name I cannot recall for the life of me. Should have looked up while I was on break, and didn't. I will now look it up.
Okay. I also got a snack, so there's not going to be any weird hand movements. I paused it.
For the Vision of Time from the Timeless Isles. The Vision of Time allows him to see other timelines, and he finds one where the events of Warcraft 1 have not yet transpired.
Uh-huh.
So he sends Garrosh there, and this happens.
Drink, Hellscream. Claim your destiny.
Golden.
Yep.
Conquerors.
Shut up now.
And what?
That's Grom Hellscream.
Must we give in return?
Garrosh's father.
Everything.
I remember this scene from the movie.
This expansion was created to coincide with the movie. That would be Manaroth.
And did you bring these mongrels here? Just to watch you die.
Did Manaroth just kill Golden on purpose?
He did not.
Oh.
That was just another Warlock. again, he'll be reborn on Argus, etc., etc.
This was not our destiny. Times change. We will never be slaves! But we will be conquerors.
Massive gate.
Right? Yeah. We get it.
Years
So
ago?
Grosh... yeah.
Damn.
So Grosh was actually sent 4 years prior to that scene. So he had 4 years to build an army, build weapons, convince his father to join his side. Eventually, coinciding with that scene, where they spill the blood of Menoroth, turn against the Shadow Council, and declare themselves victors. Start a new invasion as the Iron Horde against the Alliance and the people of Azeroth. So this expansion was created because the movie was coming out and they needed relevant content to Warcraft 1. But they didn't want to just, take us back in time to do that again. So that'd be weird. So they decided to put a spin on it. They call it The Warlords of Draenor.
Nice transition.
Right? I just learned about that today.
You've done very good.
It is set in the year 31.
And it's 4. Oh, because I had to go back in time.
This is less of an elephant in the room and more of just sort of an annoying mosquito because of some funny lore, and it's sort of just a bad expansion in terms of gameplay and patch cadence. But I think most people remember it fondly. It's just there was a long period of time where there was not really a lot to do, and we'll get to that. Alright, now let's travel back in time to 4 years before the Dark Portal opened. Hang on, something's going wrong. Too far back. Okay. So, Garrosh had the 4 years to convince the Horde to join his side, forming the Iron Horde. Dark Portal on alternate Draenor is finished and connected to the one on Azeroth. Portal's glow goes from green, which is for Outland, to red, connecting us between the two timelines. Events begin to run simultaneous from this point, so it is, let's say, more or less 0 minute, 0 hour, 0 year on Draenor, and the year 31 on Azeroth. Okay?
Okay.
The newly christened Iron Horde, led by Garrosh, make their way to Azeroth and lay siege to the combined forces of Vol'jin's Horde and the Alliance. Managed to make their way all the way north to Blackrock Mountain, just as they did in Warcraft 1, and secure it as a base. A bunch of backstory cinematics released here to explain all the various characters. Honestly, they don't matter, because these versions of the characters live and die in the same expansion, so we'll just move on. Basically, it's what I already told you about the characters, except with a slight difference, because it's a different timeline. When I say characters, I mean, like, a snick.
On top of the gate, there's a snake.
We'll come back to that in Shadowlands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Basically, those cinematics were explaining the alternate versions of, like, Orgrim Doomhammer, Blackhand, Duratan, you already know who those characters are. You're going to see what changes took place. We'll move on.
Okay.
Cutscene. Cutscene.
This is our chance. Storm the portal!
So Khadgar's with us now. He has experience with this sort of thing.
And the guy with the blue tail.
Drana. Vindicator Moran. So Khadgar leads a charge into the alternate Draenor, where he quickly disables the portal from the Draenor side of things, freeing Gul'dan, Cho'Gall, and Terran Gor, who are trapped there. That seems like a bad idea. I don't know why they didn't just kill them, considering the history of these characters, but they let them go.
They don't like to kill people.
Well,
Except in Massive War.
I mean, this is Khadgar. Khadgar knows these people. He's dealt with these people once before. He has done this exact scenario once before. He's invaded Draenor, he's shut down a portal, trapping himself on the other side. He's had to deal with Gul'dan, he's had to deal with Cho'Gall. Well, not really Cho'Gall. He's definitely dealt with Terrangor. Terrangor was one of the Death Knights. He was a Shadow Council orc. He died. He was put into the soul. His soul was put into the body of a human. That hasn't happened here. He's still an orc.
Mm.
For now. We get this cutscene. It's the Warlords of Draenor.
Eager to meet death. Look then upon the countless faces of your demise. Rise up, Iron Horde! Bring your war chief their heads.
So, in the intro quest, we go around Tenan Jungle, which is the same as Hellfire Peninsula, but before it became Hellfire Peninsula. Dealing with the warlords, meeting some surviving orcs, and Draenei resisting the Iron Horde. Eventually, we use a massive siege engine to blow up the portal, trapping us in Draenor. Kind of. Pretty easily make a portal back. We set sail in stolen ships. The Alliance sails to the south, the Horde sails to the north. We'll get to that in a moment. That's a little bit of humor. How about that?
Okay.
No autoplay. Should have fixed that earlier.
Check.
So anyway, the Horde arrives in Frostfire Ridge, where they meet with Thrall's dad, Durotan, chieftain of the Frostwolf clan. Durotan doesn't know that Thrall is his son, and is confused, A, by the appearance of alien races that he's never seen before, and B, why Thrall is green, since some of the orcs have drank demon blood in this timeline. You build a little stronghold called Frostwall, which becomes your base of operations, which you build up over time very tediously. You help the Frostwolf clan conquer Bladespire Citadel, overthrowing the oppressive faction of ogres there. You also head down into Bloodmaul's slag mines and kill their leaders there as well. More ogres. That's neat. That's one of the Grand. You remember them from Agrimar, putting them here to fight against the overly large living plant monsters. Well, this one died and left a skeleton. Some orcs have taken up residence there, specifically this guy.
Hi, he has a wolf face.
That is Warlord Fenris. And he is Durotan's brother, Thrall's uncle.
Makes sense for the name.
And we kill him.
Oh.
Because he joined the Iron Horde.
Bad.
Yeah. The Shadow Council is doing spooky stuff up in the north. Garona exists in this timeline and is fully under Gul'dan's control and tries to gank us while we investigate. There's Cho'Gall. And Terrangor is the ghostly apparition there. He's just sort of telecommuting, I guess. It's like a Zoom meeting.
I mean, if you can't be there in person, that's the next best thing.
Yep. And you see, of course, Gul'dan is there. And we have a cutscene. That is Drekthar. Still old, even when he's young.
We are out of time.
But it's Durotan's other brother, I believe.
I just need another moment. We will give Drekthar the time he needs. As brothers, your place is with our
As
people.
Gunnar.
Protect our family, chieftain.
Just 1v 80,000 of them.
Yep. And Drekthar kills him. So we try and halt the Iron Horde's advance into Frostfire Ridge through the Thunder Pass from another section of Draenor. Gunnar, that's Durotan's other brother, sacrifices himself to put an end to it. We've known him for all of 10 minutes at this point, so it's really touching and moving. There's no character development whatsoever. Meanwhile, the Alliance travels to Shadow Moon Valley, which is slightly less shit than the Outland version. As you can see, it's not all corrupted by the Fel yet.
No.
They're led by the Draenei Yrel, who is odd. We'll come back to her. We find a spot to build Lunar Fall Outpost. It's their version of the Stronghold. Garrison, they call it, I believe. This is Yrel here.
Behold, the dark star falls now upon you. The Iron Horde will prevail.
We're skipping a lot, by the way.
But stand against us will die.
So that was Ner'zhul. You know, the guy that becomes the Lich King? Yeah. Prophet Villain. That is this universe's version of Villain, not ours. He's about to do a very stupid thing. I'll give you context for what's going on in a moment.
Oh, he purified one of the Lune's babies.
Yep. Okay, so, you remember in the original timeline I said that there was a dying Naru that they built the tomb around? Akudan?
That was it?
That was, yes. So this is Kara, This was ejected from the from the Draenei ship when they arrived on Draenor, and left in orbit for a great deal of time, where it was decaying into a void entity. They referred to it as the Dark Star, and it was being worshipped by warlocks in Shadowmoon Valley. Ner'zhul tries to pull the Dark Star out of orbit in order to try and, I guess, harness its energies, or maybe worship the void. We're not entirely sure what his motivations were. Velen, this universe's version of Velen, not ours, steps into the beam of shadow energy, unleashes all of his holy energy, his light, purifies Kara, and poofs out of existence. He also passed the title of prophet on to Yrel. We're not entirely sure what that means, but we're certain it'll come back to bite us in the ass. The Iron Horde try to take the Temple of Karabor, which in this timeline has not yet become the Black Temple, which is where we found Illidan in Outland. We defend it with the help of Kara. Ner'zhul got away at the end, so we have to find him in the Shadowmoon Burial Grounds. Sure is voidy in here, wouldn't you say?
A little bit.
The fuck is that thing?
ELUNE's butthole.
Yeah. Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Horde and Alliance cross paths in Gorgrond, investigating the Iron Horde's manufacturing depots. Gorgrond famously, of course, where we saw Agramar put down the Grond to fight the plant guys, Floral Colossi.
Roots.
Yeah. The Iron Docks is where they make their ships. They actually know how to make boats in this timeline because Garrosh told them how. They also know how to make trains. Pretty cool dungeon. It's on a moving train. I like that dungeon. The Everbloom. That's where things get interesting. This is the remains of the overgrown Draenor that we saw in prehistory, which was definitely not Eonar's fault. Hint, hint. Kirin Tor expedition was sent to establish presence within the overgrowth and create alternative access points into Draenor since the Dark Portal was shut down. But then all contact with the mages of the Violet Bluff was lost. They were overrun by the forces of the Primals, led by the fearsome Genosaur named Yalnu. Genosaur, of course, being the giant fuck-off ones. Archmage's soul's brain has been infested by spores that turned her and most of the expedition against their allies. The portal linked to a Kirin Tor camp located at the outskirts of Stormwind City is still active, attracting the fearsome Genosaur and his underlings towards Azeroth. They could spread unchecked without their eternal enemies, the Breakers, opposing them. So there is a portal connected here between the camp in Draenor and Stormwind. That's bad.
Does it sound good? Yeah.
That's very, very bad.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
So we find our way through, and the Genosaur actually makes his way through the portal to a hill directly behind Stormwind Castle, located here. So that's bad. They actually made it through. I'm going to tell you something. This is not the only time they do that. But, we do beat him, and then that portal's still there. It's not closed.
Do something about that.
Yeah, it's been a while, too. I think it's been, like, 7 or 8 years in-game since then. That portal's still there. Anyway.
It's a big oversight.
So that's Shatrath. Looks a little different when it's not blown up.
Mm.
Follow the Iron Horde to Talador, where they are laying siege to Shatrath, which is significantly less destroyed than this timeline so far. Doomhammer and Blackhand arrive by ship and start face-rolling the Draenei forces. We don't see it on screen, but Blackhand kills Orgrim Doomhammer and takes the Doomhammer for himself. This happens.
It's over. No one could have survived that.
This vessel is set to blow. We should get to safety.
Bring the cannon around. We'll send both of these ships to the bottom of the sea.
kill you though?
Mara. How?
In the light, we are one.
Is that her father or mentor or what?
Yeah, like a mentor. She's another paladin.
I see now. You never belonged with us to return. Our bond is iron. But you are so easily broken.
That's Black End, by the way.
I just see white.
They tried to explain it as ashes.
Little girl.
Stain their skin.
Your head.
Cannon is in position. On your command.
Prepare to fire. Such arrogance to believe that you alone could defeat me.
Stealth heal.
Together.
She casts Holy Avenger.
Wait! You're alive!
I've got them.
You will all die!
Just you.
She's pretty badass.
Worryingly so.
What, we don't like her?
No.
Oh.
She has questionable loyalties to the light. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. Any
We blow
loyalty
up-
to the light is questionable.
Yeah, it gets real bad. We won't get there for a while. Anyway, we blow up his ship. Murad dies in a continuing series of you're all getting all of our friends killed. And we blow up Black M, but he survives. We'll deal with him later. Gul'dan has dispatched Terangor to Akadun to harness the souls of the dead that are within for fell magic reasons. We put a stop to Terangor, but he teleports away. A lot of just getting away happening. We head to the spires of Iraq. Oh yeah, remember these guys? Bird guys. And the other bird guys.
Burp.
Yeah. The adherents of Rukmar are waging a war of extermination of the cursed Arakoa. So the tall bird boys are trying to kill the squat little bird boys. Because religious fanatics. One of the first things the players see in this area is the Skyreach super weapon obliterating Vale Arkaz. So they have like solar laser technology, which is interesting because it's nighttime in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So we head up there to Skyreach and put a stop to that. For some reason we don't ever turn that super weapon on the Iron Horde because we're stupid. Fair. We also have to deal with Seth, the evil wind serpent god that looks a little bit too much like a car, who cursed the Arakoa in the first place. We destroy him? Question mark. There's Rukmar in the background. I don't know why he's there. Anyway. Also, Admiral Taylor, one of the Alliance storylines from Pandaria, he had a garrison here. Everyone there is ghosts now, including Admiral Taylor, and they never really tell us how that happened, except for this guy. The Cult of the Damned has shown up here for some reason. Apparently they're still around. This is the first and the last that we'll see of them for a while. I don't actually know what plot they were hinting at here. Maybe some sort of a hint of the Shadowlands? I don't actually know. It seemed really out of place. Just suddenly there's a Cult of the Damned guy here, and everyone's dead. The goblins are also here, and they did goblin things, like mining for oil and resources and things, and they really pissed off the spore creatures that are living in this area. We deal with that. Some of them go a little bit insane, and we have to smack some sense into them. Spores
you
make
do.
you crazy. Yeah. Then we go to Necrond. We defeat the Burning Blade clan, and they had a base here. It was formerly demon worshipping in our timeline. In this one, they're just loyal to Garrosh. It's actually where Garrosh was hiding for the most part. So he's from this area. This is where he grew up in Outland.
Mm.
Finally, we locate Garrosh at Gramashar Fortress. Name should have been a tip-off. Could have found that earlier.
Yeah. But were the maps updated? I mean, did you know it was Gramashov Fortress or whatever it's called?
Name's right on it. Gramashar.
Hmm.
Anyway.
You must answer for your crimes, Garrosh. All I did for the Horde!
The wrong Horde.
You failed the Horde! You made me war chief! You left me to pick up your pieces!
He's not wrong.
You never had the strength of a true warrior. I do not rely on strength alone, Garrosh.
I'm a shaman.
My power is all around you. You made me what I am. No. You chose your own destiny.
He did? I do like the coat he's wearing a whole lot. It looks so good on him.
Alright.
I
We
like
make
that
fun of
style.
the beads around his neck. We call them Thrall's balls.
Well, the beads, they're gone now, but the coat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, that didn't go well for
Oh, hi,
Garrosh.
Noah.
Some people debate if this is a legal Mak'ra because Thrall invoked the elements. In Mak'ras, you're not allowed to use magic. I would argue it wasn't a Mak'ra at all. They weren't fighting for the title of War Chief. He was just being killed.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't declare that it was Mak'ra at
No,
all.
that's right. Thrall's still angsty about having used the elements to kill, you know, it was basically his surrogate son, right? His best friend's son. The elements, I don't know if it's Thrall or if it's the elements, but they basically abandoned him. He has lost his ability to do shamanism as of this point. What are people saying?
I said that they fought to the death, so there is no war chief.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Vol'jin's still War Chief at this point. Anyway, Rip Loser. His body's still there. You can go visit him.
Is he not bones yet?
No. Time has a funny way of doing things that don't make any sense. Anyway.
What is time anymore, anyway?
No. I mean, we shouldn't even be able to get back to this dimension, to be honest with you, but we can for some reason. The Horde of the Alliance fight over some old ogre ruins on an island called Ashran, for no particular reason, just a cool zone, I guess. It's pretty interesting open area PvP thing. Nobody queues for it anymore, which is disappointing. It's actually really fun. We go to High Mall in Nagrand and fight the Gorian Empire, killing Imperator Margok. You'll recall that this area was previously blown up by the elements in the other timeline. Well, it was us in this one. We head back to Gorgon and lay siege to Blackrock Foundry, killing Blackhand, who survived being blown up earlier.
He deserves it.
Yeah. Really cool. You punch him through the floor and he falls for like 1,000 meters. This happens.
How dare you show your face here, Warlock?
You promised conquest, Grommash, yet brought these clans to ruin. Your men have died for nothing.
My soldiers died with honor.
Did they? And what about your son?
So we just had that up his butt.
Yep. Taking off one of his mini spikes, stick it out of his back.
Everything. There is only one choice. Drink and fulfill your
Don't
destiny.
drink the Kool-Aid. It's bad Kool-Aid.
Your poison would damn us all!
Your iron will is legend. I will enjoy breaking you. Who will be the first to accept this gift? Power such as mine for any willing to serve.
Kilrog.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
You have seen your fate.
Spit it at him.
You know what must be done.
Kilrog!
He drank it.
Yes. I will build a new horde. I will forge you into an unstoppable weapon. You will be the scourge of 100 worlds. The might of a legion.
So, Gramash's failures breed dissent within the ranks, affording the warlock Gul'dan the opportunity to usurp the Iron Horde and summon the demonic Burning Legion to Draenor, joined by Warlord Kilrog of the Bleeding Hollow clan, sorry. So, once again, we have the Burning Legion invading Draenor and taking control of the orcs. Then we basically just kind of sit around in our garrisons doing nothing for like 6 months. Because the
A
devs...
lot of bad happened. You got to process it.
Well, the devs sort of gave up at this point. They were already working on the next expansion, and they didn't really want to deal with it. We'll just hang out here for a minute. How's people?
Hi.
Good.
I'm glad that you stopped by, Noah. This is number 4 in the WoW installations. The other 3 are still VODs on Twitch and also on YouTube at Hopi Ian. Hopikins Ian.
Yeah. I guess we can
changed it
move
from
on.
Hopikins VOD.
You sure did. Let's move on.
Yes. Oh, also hand tracking. Hey.
You were to be the first, Hellscream. You were destined to be my greatest champion. And instead, you chose this. You have no
vision. Behold, what a true seat of power demands.
A
citadel of hellish fire worthy of my masters. A monument to entomb the souls of all who would dare to defy us.
They will defy you. I have seen their forces in battle. They are fearless. It does not matter what vile creatures you summon to the battle. They will persevere. Their resolve is unbreaking. They will come. They will fight. And they will wash their blades of your blood in victory.
Fight if you must, Hellscream. It is no matter. In the end, we all serve the Legion.
Alright, so we're back. Gul'dan has brought the Burning Legion to Tanan Jungle and seized Hellfire Citadel. Content! After so long. We laid siege to...
Why don't we just kill Gul'dan again?
Working on it.
Okay.
We lay siege to Tanan Jungle, fighting Gul'dan's forces, and the forces of the Burning Legion have gained a foothold at the base of Hellfire Citadel. We assault the Citadel itself. We fight... Kilrog. We kill him. And Tarangor looks like this now. He's been a little bit voided. He got some old god juice into him. He's called the Soul Devourer, which is an interesting concept. He's devouring souls. It's not a Legion thing to do. This is not Fel. This is Void. Yeah. Old god stuff. Odd. And Fel Corrupted Birdman?
Or burps.
Yep. An Eridar Warlock turned himself into a Fel Gundam. So that's cool.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. It's more Eridar. It's real tall.
Very
More in the background.
I think I'd come up to her ankle.
Yep. The Free Gamash from the Fel Lord. I'd love to know why Void Revenants are here. Gul'dan summoned him. Void and Fel are not friends. I'm very curious. Yeah. Oh, Manaroth is back. We kill him again. He just respawns on Argus. He respawned here, which is weird. Like, when we go up there, he's just a skeleton.
There's
and
Void
then
and
Gul'dan brings him
Void
back
and
somehow.
Fel.
Yeah. Well, that's... okay, we can touch on that. There's a very interesting distinction between shadow magic and void magic. This is shadow magic.
Is that why it's more pink instead of bluey purple?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, it's not very well defined. We don't really know what the difference is, and they're often linked.
Maybe it has more arcane, because arcane is pink.
It's very odd. Something to look more into. I don't personally know. I don't have an answer. I'm not being cryptic. It's just there's definitely a distinction between shadow and void. We don't know what.
So we got Fel and Shadow instead of Fel and Void.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's also weird because, like, if you play a warlock character, you could summon a void walker and enslave it. Well, that's definitely not a demon. It used to be classified as demon, but it's not now. Yeah, void elves are a whole other kit and caboodle that we'll address later. Not tonight, because we have this to deal with. that's Archimonde. You recall him from Warcraft 3, being the one that tried to destroy the World Tree on Mount Hyjal. He's back. I did say he'd be back. Good news, in the mythic version of this raid, you fight him, and he takes you to the Twisting Nether, like a dumbass, where we kill him, and he dies. Why would he do that?
Maybe he's just ready to die.
Guess so. Well, here's that cinematic.
You made a pact.
So, here's a point of contention. They say that we killed him in the Twisting Nether, but then we clearly see him back on Draenor, and that's where he died. Maybe he isn't actually dead. We don't know.
Find out.
I guess so.
It's done. Gul'dan failed. Draenor is free!
How dare you? You did nothing!
It poofed.
Flash concern.
You don't think it's over?
Gul'dan and the devils that command him are not so easily banished. I fear this is only beginning.
If you ever need us, we will be here.
Until we meet again.
Where the fuck is he going?
A great man once told me.
Over there.
In the light, we are one. The future is ours, and we will see Draenor rebuilt. Together.
Yeah. About that. So anyway, Archimonde sends alternate Gul'dan to Azeroth. So, that's where he went. Grommash, who did absolutely nothing to help us at any point and was actually the enemy for the majority of the expansion, declares a victory. What?
I have a question.
Hi.
Hi. Maybe Gold. Well, actually, more of a comment. I think Gul'dan's just cranky because he can't ever lay down on his back and stretch out
That is,
comfortably.
yeah, he's definitely. I mean, you've seen his past. He was bullied for being a cripple.
Yeah,
And
then he had spikes, and he can't ever just.
he did not improve his situation.
No.
Yeah. So yeah,
Good hydration.
Grommash declares a W for himself, which is rude. Khadgar is a little sus of the whole situation. He flies off to God knows where. Yrel bands together with the remaining orcs, which I'm sure will never come back to bite us in the ass.
Nope, never.
Reunites the drama and starts to rebuild their society. And we abandon this this timeline. We'll let them do their thing for the next 40 years. Unchecked. That's probably fine.
Probably. I mean, Gul'dan's gone, right?
Glad that's over with. We all return back to Azeroth, closing the way to alternate Draenor behind us. The portal's closed, we can't get back there. It's not like we can just, tiptoe back over to Draenor. That timeline has been cut off from us. And we promptly arrive at year 32. King Magni Bronzebeard has awoken from being a crystalline figure. He's still made of crystal, but he's now awake. Alright. Gul'dan reopens the sealed portal inside the Tomb of Sargeras, beginning the Burning Legion's third invasion of Azeroth. Get this cutscene. Not really a cutscene. Animatic.
Dadgar.
Dadgar.
Once again, the Burning Legion has returned. Stronger, more determined than ever before, I venture to Karazhan on a mission.
Oh, it should be noted, sorry to interrupt there. It was said that Khadgar, when he returned from alternate Draenor, looked more youthful and energetic, and when asked what happened, he just smirked. So he found something.
Mm-hmm. And
Of
he doesn't want to share.
Show yourself.
My apprentice returns. It is good to see you again, Khadgar.
Medivh? How?
My spirit is bound to this tower.
Yes, of course. Medivh, there is so much I need.
You look terrible, old friend. Why have you come here?
The Burning Legion invades again. I come seeking the knowledge you kept here. Anything that can help me stand against them.
Defeating the Legion this time will take more than some spell, I'm afraid. You came seeking knowledge. What you need is a weapon.
I don't understand.
You defeated me when I was consumed by fell madness, but you never took the next step toward your destiny. It is time Azeroth had a guardian once again.
A guardian? After your failings, it was decided that none could resist the temptation of such power. No, we don't need a guardian, Medivh.
He had something in him egging him on
I
for
ask
that.
again, why are you here? If not a guardian, if not you, then who can stop the approaching storm? If you cannot embrace your fate, then all you have accomplished, all you have sacrificed, will have been for nothing.
Even if I said yes, none now remain to bestow the powers of a guardian upon me.
I remain. I knew this day would come. Before my death, I imbued this tome with an echo of my essence. Open it.
It's his Trapper Keeper.
Absorb its energies as your own.
No, I cannot. I should
not. The fate of Azeroth rests in your hands, Khadgar. Accept your desires. Show the Legion the true might of a guardian. Be honest with yourself, if not with me. You know you are destined for this.
Oh, it is true. I have thought about becoming the Guardian every day. Even now, I desire it. I've yearned for the Legion to cringe before the fury I would unleash. And that is why I can never accept your offer.
Your will is strong. My brethren were right. You would have served the Legion well.
I I will never be the Legion's pawn.
And this tower will not be its den!
Good job, Edgar.
I came to Karazhan seeking knowledge. What I found was a reminder that no single person, not even a Guardian, can stand against the Legion alone. As before, we must band together, united, for Azeroth.
So, Khadgar ventures to Karazhan, where he gets tempted to become the Guardian by Nathrezim, defeats the Nathrezim, heads to the various faction capitals to warn them about the Legion's impending invasion, known as World of Warcraft Legion. Oh shit. So, that's a tidy place to end for the night, right on the hour.
Mm-hmm.
And next week should be the final episode, in theory. We are on slide 741, 11,553.
It's a
We're
lot
getting
of
there.
slides.
We're getting
We
there.
are. We're well over halfway now.
We should be able to finish this next week.
And tomorrow it'll be Control.
That's right. I don't have anything else to add, do you?